Murdoch. I'm coming to get you.
Remember, Sally, when I promised to kill you last? I lied.
Get off my plane.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
John, I'm not gonna shoot you between the eyes. Shoot you between the balls.
The disease. And I'm the cure.
I'm gonna take you to the bank, Senator Trent. There can be only one.
Dead or alive, you are coming with me.
Yippee-ki-yay. I'm going to kill them all, sir.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a special bonus episode of Give Me Back My Action Movies, the podcast. I am one of your hosts, Charlie. With me, as always, is Nate. Say hello to the people, Nate.
I like seeing you, Charlie. I do, but I get to see you like 3 times this week, so that might be a little too much, Charlie. And then also, I wasn't supposed to see you given the circumstances for this one.
Yeah, I mean, at least one of the times you get to see me this week is in person. So
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
that
true.
makes it
Actually,
extra
I am
special.
very excited for that.
That's right.
It's just it's a bummer that we are covering this movie, even though it shouldn't be.
Oh, right. Why haven't we covered this movie before now? But like we've said before, when we think of other movies, it's like it just wasn't time. And it does suck because we're covering Punisher Warzone, a fantastic movie with a fantastic actor that we unfortunately lost, and that is Ray Stevenson. And
Yes. So as you're listening to this, we're a bit late on it, but it's because of how we record, the way the schedule falls. But we knew we wanted to get this out as soon as we had heard the news. I was instantly texting Charlie, "We gotta do Punisher Warzone." Like it was just a no-brainer.
yeah, I'm not opposed to it. I don't mind this being a little bit later, so it doesn't seem like we're just like bandwagoning on celebrity deaths, which we try not to do here. We just would rather shine a spotlight and give our
I
give our
think this is,
appreciation
like,
to them.
The first one of a celebrity death that actually felt like, oh, we need to address this.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I think we've done a couple on the Action Elite when we do the live streams. I know we did for Albert Pune, and I think a couple of other actors. We've always done like a in memorandum to them, but this one was a little different because Nate and I both love this movie, Punisher Warzone. It sounds a little somber to talk about for a movie that's so incredibly badass that we're talking about it under these circumstances. So I think we're going to say our piece about Ray Stevenson right now, maybe a little bit at the end, but I really want to up the energy a little bit more and just
Yeah,
get
oh
into
no.
this movie.
I feel
Yeah.
like let's just instantly get into the destruction of this movie.
Well, let's set the mood then. Let's let the Punisher get us going, and let's drop the trailer for Warzone.
This isn't like any procedure that we've ever done before.
Well, that's why I'm here, Doc.
Your facial muscles, tendons, bone structure, everything. It was destroyed.
Evil has many faces.
You look fantastic, brother. Yes.
Darkness has many allies.
This deal is going down tonight.
Raise your army! But there is only one who punishes them all. This is just the beginning.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's play a game.
God be with you, Frank.
Sometimes I'd like to get my hands on God.
FBI, drop your weapons! You're fighting a war.
Punisher, Warzone.
See you in hell.
I love that the
Man.
last 15 seconds is nothing but gunfire.
It's what I expect with the Punisher thing, man. This is
It definitely is.
definitely ain't being played on Disney Plus right now. So
Oh, that's only because of rights. All right.
yeah. This is God, but this was the start of something that I was excited for because this is the first one that got released under the Marvel Knights banner, and
Which didn't we only get like 2 movies released underneath the Marvel Knights banner?
yeah, I think it's this and Blade Trinity are the only ones that got released under the Marvel Knights. I can't
Maybe. I remember
remember
this
off
being
the
a
top of my head.
thing. Like, this is such an interesting sequel, reboot, you
You know
know.
what? This is what I consider in the because I grew up reading these comics, and I haven't read every Punisher comic book, but I've read a lot of them. I have like a first appearance of Jigsaw. I have a reproduction of the first appearance of Punisher, which was actually in a Spider-Man comic, and Warzone, like in the comics, it's just a different timeline. You know,
Oh, no. I mean, it's just
it's a
completely.
totally separate. This one takes heavily from the Garth Ennis run, and those of us that live, breathe, eat comic books all know the name Garth Ennis because when you put
And
that
we
name to a
know
comic,
that's
it's
the
going to be
best
dark,
Punisher.
it's going to be violent, it's going to be masochistic, it's just going to be insane.
It's a hell of a run. Um,
Yeah,
but also, I personally, I like the Thomas Jane movie.
I enjoy it.
I enjoy it.
My critique is it's in Florida. That's my biggest bitch.
See,
That's my
my
bitch.
critique, I
Don't you
understand
say
that the
John
Punisher
Travolta.
shouldn't be.
Don't you say John Travolta.
No, no, and it wasn't going to be that actually.
I'm
Was the
just
fact
making
that the
sure.
Punisher wasn't like what he is in this or like what he is in the TV show. They definitely made him a much more sad, emotional character in the Thomas Jane one. But I
Well,
like that take. I think it
that
was a more human take to do.
that's like Punisher Origins. So, you know, he's a family man. He has a normal job in that one. We will cover that on the show eventually.
I think eventually we could.
Hopefully Thomas Jane doesn't have to die for us to cover it, you know. So
Yeah,
we'll
definitely.
make sure we
I mean,
try.
if John
We did
Travolta died,
stop it.
well, now
Stop.
we'll cover
Don't
Face Off.
put that voodoo on me, Ricky Bobby. um but
What? Xenu will
no.
save him.
That's right. He'll fly that airplane out of Earth.
Yeah,
So
out the
yeah,
volcano.
I think we got that because if we go through the movie TV show timeline of Punisher, obviously we got the original Dolph Lundgren, which I'm a fan of. I am a fan of the original Dolph Lundgren Punisher.
I like it. It's just a silly action movie.
It
It's
is.
definitely.
They didn't know
I
what to do with the
haven't seen it in
character.
forever, so I can't give like a
Yeah.
full valid opinion on it.
Another one I'd like to cover. It'd be cool to do like a Punisher retrospective. But that one kind of starts a bit like what Warzone does. We are like right in the middle of Castle's war on crime, almost at the end of like his journey to a degree.
Which is where this movie like feels like a sequel because they did the right thing of unlike Amazing Spider-Man when that came out and they're like, well, let's redo Uncle Ben
Redo
getting
everything.
killed
Let's get a new Uncle Ben. Let's
again.
get a
Yeah,
God.
and it's just like, geez, we don't need to see this again. Like,
And I like
it was
Andrew
smart
Garfield's
of only
Spider-Man.
doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. But
Yeah.
it was smart to just like let's not retread that territory. We'll do a flashback of just his,
I love
kid
how they
and
do it
wife being killed,
with
and I think
the
that's great. I
photographs,
think
and they
that
sprinkle it
works
in a
great.
little bit, you know, through the movie, and I
It
love that kind of backstory.
makes me wonder what kind of movie this would have been if Thomas Jane would have stayed on board. I can't fully remember why he walked away from this one.
He didn't like the story. And it's not this. So Warzone isn't the story Thomas Jane walked away from. They sold him on a whole nother story. It was going to involve Jigsaw. Thomas Jane had already put on like 30 pounds of muscle. He was campaigning hard for Lionsgate to start up Punisher 2. It was like basically getting started, and then one of the scripts come across him, and he's like, "This isn't what I'm here for. I'm not. That's you're changing my character arc." And I don't know if we've ever actually seen what that script was that he rejected.
Yeah, and the most we got was even after this movie came out was that Clean Laundry, Dirty
So
Laundry short
Dirty
film.
Laundry short film was just something someone wrote, and Thomas Jane read it and went, "I love this. This is where my character should have went." If you've never seen Dirty Laundry on YouTube, go watch it. It's phenomenal. It is
Yeah, it's a
for the
pretty
fact
badass 10-minute short film.
we never got another Thomas Jane. It actually gives you a tiny little bit of closure, and I could watch it right now. It's so much fun. So when that all fell apart, Lionsgate still had to put a movie out because they were about to lose the rights to Punisher back to Marvel. They had a set amount of time, which means we're going to pop out a movie. And we got, a script to Warzone, which took heavy from Garth Ennis, like we said. And they cast Ray Stevenson, which is basically Frank Castle ripped out of the comics. Like, I like Thomas Jane. Ray Stevenson is Frank Castle out of the comics.
Yeah, the slick back hair. I love the updated look with the body armor, having the armor protect the neck. This was directed by Lexi Alexander, who got the gig because she did was it Green Street Hooligans?
I think that's
was the
what
name
it
of the movie
was.
she did.
She's
which
very
I've never
involved.
seen, but I know it's supposed to be gritty.
I know she has a lot of like stunt work background with her movie history, which is another reason she got this.
Now the
it was
problem
kind of shocking
is-
to everyone though too that I don't want this to sound sexist, but there was a lot of people in the fandom that went, "Why is a woman directing Punisher?"
Idiots.
And I'm idiots for sure, because
Idiots.
after you watch this movie, you go, "Hell yeah,
Well,
let's give
here's
her
the
more."
Unfortunate part two.
Give us the
Lionsgate
bullshit that happened.
just dumped this movie out in December. She is from Germany and thought December was a great release date because of it being holiday season, not realizing that in the States, that's usually where you go to put stuff for award season, and that's it. Anything else that gets released from that December window is dead on arrival. Same thing with like January titles. Whenever those
January
get
is another
released,
one.
they're always just bad movies. Here recently,
They're not always bad. You have done this before, and there are
Seasons
so many
of the Witch that came out in January. Never forget.
Legion came out in January.
Yep, bad movie.
No, it's not, and you shut your ass.
I guess we'll never be able to cover unless Paul Bettany dies.
Oh, don't you put that voodoo on Paul Bettany. Don't you do that.
Look, we can only cover movies from here on out if someone dies.
What's the other Paul Bettany movie that was very similar in feel?
The vampire one that I liked.
Yeah, that Carl Urban's in. That one's really good. I like that one. That's
Priest. That's what it was.
Priest. That's it. I think that's
So-
a January release.
There is a fantastic podcast on How Did This Get Made, where they actually interview Lexi with like Patton Oswalt and just go through like what happened, how did this all go so wrong, and I highly encourage listening to it because it's a phenomenal you would have never got to hear this story regardless. But this movie was dumped just to keep the rights, which back in the day, like what was it, the 90s when Marvel was on the verge of bankruptcy and just sold off
early 2000s was when they
sold off the rights to X-Men, Punisher, Spider-Man, just selling everything left and right, and just
so I think it was right at the tail end of the 90s, because that's when Sony grabbed like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And that's what kickstarted Spider-Man. That we would have no MCU without, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man movies. They were, Marvel movies were a joke in the 90s and 80s and stuff like that. They didn't know what to do with. It's like the technology finally caught up to do it proper. But this one, and it's weird to go, how did this get made, or it did so bad. The movie's fantastic. It was just how it was handled.
Yeah,
this
no, I
movie
mean,
was
it was
just handled
I didn't even get
poorly.
to see this in theaters. Like I got to see the Thomas Jane one, and this one I feel like was only in theaters for 2 weeks. I remember it coming out, Cody and I talking about going to go see it, and it was gone.
Rob and I
blink of an eye.
Rob and I left like after work one day and drove out to Easton and watched this out at Easton. And God, it was an experience in the theater. That opening with the is it the Donatelli family?
Yeah.
When that flare pops after the power goes out on the big screen, holy shit.
If there was ever an opening that says, forget everything that happened in the previous movie, this is where we're taking this.
Yeah.
It's this opening.
This
Like,
is the
when you
legit
have-
buckle up buttercup moment.
Yeah. A person, like, their first death is him getting a knee to the back, and then the second death is a decapitation with multiple, not
And
only
snaps
headshots.
the wife's neck immediately after.
Like,
Now
with
she
his
grabs a
feet.
gun, so it's not like, oh, he killed women for no reason. No, she grabbed a gun and was going to shoot him, and she just crack gone.
And it's
God,
just
I love it.
headshot and blood splatters. And it was definitely like one of those moments like, oh shit, this is what we're in for. This movie has instantly no holds bar. Him spinning upside down
Still,
and just
it's
unleashing.
so ridiculous, but I would never take it out of this movie.
I would
because
not
they
take
put
it
the-
out because I'm like, it's a comic book movie. You're allowed to do this.
They put the camera directly under him, so you're watching him spin. But I was watching this last night as I just picked up the 4K Steelbook from Best Buy. The cover is, oh my God, the artwork on this thing is insane. But I watched it in 4K. But I couldn't help but sit there and go, could you imagine being one of the guys on the balcony that hasn't pulled a gun out yet? That's just what he goes, is that the Punisher spinning upside down, firing guns? It's a very Jack Sparrow kind of moment from Pirates of the Caribbean.
I mean, it's literally what happens in Boondock Saints, but
yeah,
it's
but
done
they got
on
tangled
purpose.
up in a rope.
Yeah,
and
like this
fell.
was done on purpose. And like,
Hey, Charlie
he's
Bronson
leaving
has
himself
to have
very-
rope. Everyone's
Hey.
got to have rope.
all the blood to your head, you're gonna get dizzy. I mean, I've never fired a gun upside down, but it can't be easy.
It can't. It really can't. And he spins because it's the force of the bullet. The recoil's now spinning.
Yeah, that's
him
what keeps him
around.
going. But then also, like, once he's done, I feel like he's gonna keep spinning for a bit and be like, guys,
Right.
help, micro.
Getting kind of woozy.
Yeah.
Why didn't Mythbusters ever test that one? I know we got the underworld where we shoot the floor out from underneath us. Why didn't we get the hang up from
I don't
upside down
know.
on a chandelier?
It's because no one saw Punisher Warzone. That's why.
Damn it, man. I did. This is one of the ones where I can go, I saw it. I was in the theaters, and
I'm jealous.
It was a hell of
I
an
remember-
experience, man.
It was either Mark or Cody, our friends. One of them watched it first and went, you won't believe like what's in this movie.
Yeah, this is kind of weird because that's definitely a movie that would be right up your guys' alley to go watch, because we all did go
Like I
watch
said, I'm
Rambo.
fairly certain
Why
it
didn't you go
just-
watch Warzone?
It just disappeared. And I think also at this time, like, what, the MCU had not officially started yet. When did Iron Man come out? Like 2010? No, Iron Man came out in 2008. I'm looking it up now.
So the MCU technically started, even though it wasn't the MCU when Iron Man came out.
No, it was not. But like that's weird, man, looking back on it, because that means we had Iron Man came out. Then we had the Hulk movie that did the same thing that this movie does.
Yeah.
It's not quite a reboot. It's not quite a sequel. It's a in between. We're going to not redo the whole, origin story, but
Poor Edward Norton. He got so
Yeah.
shafted on this.
and then at the very tail end, they gave us Punisher Warzone. So like this movie was just set up for fail when it was like Marvel was already starting to move its pieces. What a different era.
Ain't no Nick Fury showing up at the end of Warzone.
No,
that's for
definitely not.
sure.
But a lot of it, like with everyone being upset that Thomas Jane just had a sad, dopey look on his face in that one, Ray Stevenson looks like he is pissed off
He is
at
pissed
the
off
entire world.
95% of this movie. The only time he doesn't have a pissed off look on his face is when he's talking to the little girl. And
Yeah.
I love that interaction between the two of them. But man, Ray Stevenson can play pissed off. Period.
He's got
love
that
it.
look on his face and just like everything about the way he carries himself. He's a big dude.
Right?
but
He
moves
is.
quick.
God,
you know?
dude, even in that armor, in that body
Yeah,
armor.
and that's
stuff,
the thing. In that armor, he is moving quick, and he sells it. That like that is a man that I truly did believe was dispatching thugs left and right.
His voice. His
Oh.
voice is so commanding. It almost has a bit of an echo to it. Obviously it's a Punisher movie, so there's not a lot of lines. I think that's one other thing, and I'm not going to bash. This isn't about bashing any other of the movies, but Thomas Jane, until he was Punisher, he had a lot of lines.
Oh yeah,
Until
definitely.
he really got, like, especially with the Rat Pack in the apartment complex. And he would do his own epilogue, the whole narration thing on his
Well,
own.
there was like,
Ray
all right, there
Stevenson
was,
just doesn't.
yeah, like he doesn't. Like there was a monologue in that Thomas Jane Punisher where it was like, I know you're upset, Frank, because I used to get upset at
Yeah,
a flat tire. I used to get
flat
upset
tire,
when
my sports
my
team
sports team
loses.
loses.
Yeah.
But then and that's always stuck with me. But this one that's always stuck with me, and it was in the trailer that we played when he's in the church. It says, "Sometimes I'd like to get my hands on God." Like that is such a hard, badass line, and his cold delivery to it is perfection.
If I could flip one thing in the two movies, I want Thomas Jane to say, "Sometimes I'd like to get my hands on God." I want Ray Stevenson to say, "I think God's going to sit this one out," which is what Thomas Jane says.
Yeah,
in the
that's
first
right.
One. I love that line of God's going to sit this one out. But I would have loved to have heard Ray Stevenson say that line
It's
as
just,
Frank.
Those type of lines are so Punisher to me.
It totally
You know?
is. It totally is. And I watched a little. I'm not gonna. You guys made fun of me too much, but I did watch a little bit of the making of, and Ray's talking about doing this movie and the character, and he goes, my goal was to get done with this movie and not have people going, I want to be that character. He goes, I want to play this in a way where you're like, that dude's been through a lot of shit, and I don't ever want to experience what the Punisher's gone through. And that's how he played this. And he's right. That's exactly.
He plays this like a weathered man who's got, like, when he kills a cop in this, it like tears him apart, like you could tell, like, and
he quits. He is, I'm done. Technically, he thought he killed everyone that was involved with like his family's death, and then all of the mob families. He was done. Once he threw Billy Russo into the glass, I'm out. They're all dead. So when he found out he killed the undercover agent, he's just like, done. Goes into Micro. I love Micro in this movie. I'm so happy.
I was so happy we got
him.
Micro in this movie.
Now I like the TV show version of Micro because we got a little bit more character building with him, and he fits more of what Micro was in the comics. But I love Wayne Knight in this, man, because he was kind of added more for comic relief. But man, he adds so much depth and soul, especially at the end, where he's just like,
definitely.
She's just a little girl, Frank. You have to kill me. She's just a little girl. And I was like, Jesus, man. Wayne Knight, this dude from Jurassic Park and Seinfeld. I am feeling bad. Newman. But I don't want Newman to die.
Right. You don't want Newman to die. And you know it's gonna happen. And then like it's the line that Frank Castle says to him as well, of just like, you're not gonna feel a thing. Just like letting his friend know, like, when you're gonna get shot, like, at least it's not gonna hurt. Like, it's gonna be quick.
Thing I will give him this. I am glad that it's not Frank that shoots him, because it's Frank that shoots him in the comics. That kind of plays out similar to this.
I don't remember that. Does it?
Yeah. Sawed-off shotgun to Micro's face. So they changed it up so that it's Billy the Butte or Jigsaw that shoots him. And I like that better. I was like, yeah.
So the thing that's always stuck out with me about this movie is the color palettes. The greens, the reds, how that reminds me of like a comic book panel in a way.
It's how it was done on purpose.
Like, it's so great, and it gives this film such a unique look. And then to see this in 4K for the first time and really see how those colors pop and really see like what this director's vision was truly something like fun,
Yeah.
And that's at the end of the day, like, as I was watching this, I'm like, I'm just having pure fun. I'm glad I never got a sequel to this, because I never really I don't think Lightning in a Bottle could have hit twice with this,
I don't think so, and I don't think this movie lended itself to be a sequel.
No, like, I mean, at the end of the movie, they say you killed everyone. Like, every bad guy in town's basically dead now, Frank.
Yeah. I treat this one like what comics have. Comics have one shots.
And exactly, that's what I was just about to say.
Like
this is
one shot.
a one shot, and what John Berthnall did with the character for the TV show works. Now, Grant, I never finished season 2 because I really did not like season 2.
I pushed my way through it. I like where they went with it towards the end. It starts slow. Yeah.
It just it hit a point where I was like, what the hell happened? But that happened with me with all those Marvel shows except Daredevil. Daredevil was the only one that I thought was solid throughout all of them.
and that's where we got, John Bernthal as the Punisher. And I think I've said it, maybe, I don't know if I said it on this show, but earlier, I hated John Bernthal till he was cast as
Same.
the Punisher.
Like when he was Shane, I thought he was a douchebag.
I hated
like,
Shane
never
so
liked
bad
the guy, and then
from the
like after
comics.
the
Yeah.
Punisher, I was like, oh, okay, this guy's like actually a pretty good actor. And I started to pay attention to like Fury and stuff like that. I was like, oh, okay.
I skipped
I'm an idiot.
every movie he was in till Punisher came out. And because it was Punisher, I watched it. And that
he did
first
such
episode,
a good job in that Daredevil where it's just like,
yeah.
oh, I'm ready for this.
Yeah, I was sold with that Kingpin fight, in the prison, and then that first episode of his own show when that came out, when he's the construction worker, I was in. And now, like you, I've gone back and started watching John Bernthal movies again. It says something to be a good actor, to be like, you really did capture a character as in Shane from Walking Dead. And I read the book. I hated that character before the show even came out. And you play a character I hate, I'm going to hate you as an actor for a while, apparently. But yeah, I think it was the perfect follow-up. Yeah, it was, dude. But it's weird. It's weird.
Where they gave him a lot of like human elements and stuff like that, this movie doesn't, because it is straight up focused on let's kill as many bad guys in the coolest way possible. And that I am all here for.
Yeah. It's a movie. There's one mission, there's one goal, and that is it. Yeah. And the creativity on the kills, God, man. Like, people give so much props to Deadpool being the fact it was R-rated, and I'm sitting there going like, Punisher, come on, people.
Yeah.
There are some insane, gory ass kills. Like, a dude gets his face blown completely off sitting at a dining room table.
Yeah. Every time it happens, I just die of laughter, because like the Punisher shoots this man point blank with a shotgun in front of a cop, doesn't say
holding
a word.
A little girl. Holding a little girl.
Just keeps on moving.
Doesn't say a word. The cop's like trying to calling this in. Blam! Dude's face is gone.
Yeah, and it's just
what the hell, Castle?
Before that even happens, he punches a man's face in. Like,
oh God, I was glad he punched that kid's face in.
It's such a good, because you hate that kid.
I hate that kid from the start of the movie.
He punches a hole in a man's face, not with brass knuckles, his bare hand.
And this is where I'll give her all of the credit for the way she films this action stuff. Is like, you start out we'll just focus on that one punch scene. The camera's right in front of him, and you see the fist coming towards the camera, and it cuts perfectly to that dummy head and the fist going through the head.
And just the blood splatter.
It's so seamless, and you're just like in shock that what you just watched.
The camera does not shy away from any of the violence. Like,
no, nothing's really done off screen.
He headbutts a guy. Like, he does a diving headbutt and breaks his own nose.
I love it. And he fixes it with a pencil.
Yes, it's so hardcore. And like, even the only thing I gotta complain about with the deaths is he kills a guy with a tiny dart gun. And it's only because he's using a tiny dart gun that looks so weird. But then he lands an elbow drop on the henchman's buddy, and like,
well, he lands on his back. He doesn't even drop an elbow. It's so that guy's literally a cushion for him to land. So he lands on his full back on that guy
to crush the dude. See, I thought he was doing like a Macho Man elbow drop.
Watch it again. He's on his back, and it's to cushion himself. And talking about the kills that never shy away, it actually adds more impact later when I never can remember this guy's name, but he plays the gang member that works for Micro. He's got the Latin King ink on. When he gets axed in the chest by Looney Bin Jim, and he asks Castle to kill him, that is off camera, and all you hear is the gunshot.
Yeah.
And it was way more impactful. It's kind of like the Whistler at the end of the first Blade, when he leaves Whistler the gun and you hear it go off as Blade's walking away.
Only for them to cop that out in the sequel.
Yeah, the vampires found him, and I do like part 2, but I could have done. Whistler should have died in
Yeah,
part 1.
it
and
took away
stayed
the
dead.
meaning of his death in that first one.
Totally did, but everything else about part 2 made it badass. So.
Yeah, very true.
Speaking of which, make sure you check out Spoils of Horror because their Blade 2 episodes either getting ready to drop or will have dropped depending on when I get this episode out. Yeah, I think that's what elevates this movie so much for me was it's super fast-paced action, ton of gore. Like, you can call it gratuitous. I don't care. I
Yeah, I don't care. It's
enjoy
what I
how
want in my action movies. Like that was the
Yeah.
one thing. Like when watching this the other night, I was just like, God, I have missed doing something like this on the podcast. It's been like a hot minute since we've had something this gung ho,
this
this
violent,
gory, and I
yeah.
was just like, this was needed. This felt like a breath of fresh air that I have been missing.
And don't think that we're purposely leaving Pete out or anything like this, but Pete does not like action movies that are just nothing but people shooting each other. Guess what a Punisher movie is? People literally just shooting each other
And getting their face punches in. That's all.
face punches, yeah.
Yeah.
But he's not a fan of the run and gun
But,
kind
like,
of movies, and that's what
this
is.
movie even like giving us Jigsaw, it
Dominic
decides
West,
to give us the comic book villain for the
yes.
Punisher. Dominic West, who just comes off doing The Wire, this
know.
gritty TV show, and he does this most campy, over the top performance in this.
With an accent that is
It's-
just so.
Any
Oh
other
my
movie,
God.
it would be dumb. I'd be rolling my eyes.
No.
But Dominic West is so good that it works.
They literally go so over the top where he's basically given like a State of the Union address with the American flag flying behind him. And I love every second
Yeah,
of
once
that
again,
speech.
That's a scene that I'm like, that should be so stupid.
It
But for
should.
some reason, it works.
It's like the whole, it's basically a scene from Patton, the old
Yep.
war movie.
Him recruiting
and
all those, people
all the
to be on his
gangs.
side.
And it's his God, it's still his accent. The way he does this Brooklyn accent, and then his brother as his. I will say this, and I know it may be an unpopular opinion, whatever. I really could have done without Looney Bin Jim in this movie. I really kind of wish
Oh.
it was just a ton of henchmen and Jigsaw.
I could have done without it, but it is a lot of fun to see, like, oh, brother, yeah, if you don't like any, like, mirror, I'll smash every mirror in this room or whatever it is that he says. And, like,
Here's what I would have done. I would have taken the character of Looney Bin Jim. He wouldn't have said a word in the entire movie. They would have found him at the nut house. They would have. Don't change anything in the movie, though. This is the trick. When they free him and the orderly's cowering in the corner, it should have been Dominic West going, "We'll take care of this guy," and his brother just putting his hand on his shoulder, pushing him aside and going towards the orderly. Then he could have. Then what I would have loved is when he goes into the big building, the mirror breaking scene, which that's the one scene in this movie I don't like. But it should have been Billy the Butte walking into that foyer, looking at his reflection, start to get sad, and then Looney Bin Jim's fist go through that mirror, and then just look at his brother.
And
No
see,
words spoken.
that would have worked in the Thomas Jane gritty one.
No,
This
I
one
think it would have
being
been totally
this
fine
kind of
in
like
this one.
over the done campiness of it all with our villains. Like, I don't know, it kind of works. Like, he is so ridiculous, and
I
like,
hate his lines. They're going to get, Chianti beans and all, and just, I'm going to
His
get
lines
my
are terrible.
applesauce back. I'm like, shut.
Let
And
me
when he's
ask
fighting,
you a question.
when he's fighting, that's the meniscus. Oh, I hope you weren't hoping to have children later, Punisher. I was like, shut up, for God's sake.
That's why when he finally dies, it's so great. It's like, thank
It's
God
so-
they finally shut him up.
I wanted him to have no lines. No lines. Let
still amazes
Jigsaw
me.
say everything.
He's fighting like he's Ray Park with all of his
Yeah,
acrobatic moves,
that's
which
so
doesn't make any
stupid.
sense to me
He's
whatsoever.
been
with him.
tied to a bed. He has to have some type of atrophy. They wouldn't have let this dude loose. Apparently, he's been in there for years. You wouldn't dare let him out. He
No.
just tries to do this Silence of the Lamb bullshit. And I'm just like,
But
Take
it's
this
so
character out.
great when you get to see Ray Stevenson pick him up and throw him into
In the
walls,
bathroom.
throw him
Oh,
into
God.
glass, like everywhere that he's tossing him. It's like, thank God,
And then
finally
he
someone's
scurries
used this.
away like a little rat.
Yeah.
And I do like that is basically the final fight with him, because he dies from a gunshot wound next. He
Yeah.
doesn't have to fight him again, because he shoots them instead of shooting Micro, which makes Billy shoot Micro, and that's how that goes. Now the fight between him and Billy, which we'll get to, I love that fight at the end of this movie.
It's great.
But I like the other characters too, though. I like Budiansky and Soap. They were a nice little kind of juxtaposition to just following the Punisher and or say Micro. We
Yep.
got like the police side, which is what we kind of got in the Dolph Lundgren movie, because we had Louis Gossett Jr., who's basically kind of playing the character, yet he was Frank Castle's friend. We find out Soap is basically Frank's inside guy at the police. But one of my favorite with them two is when Budiansky goes down into the basement, the file room, to meet Soap for the first time. And he's like, okay, yeah, I've been following him. There's all this other stuff, all the alleged Punisher murders. He goes, well, just jump right in. And he goes, well, which one is it? What do you mean? The alleged Punisher murders. And he goes, all of them. And the camera pans around the entire base. And you're just like, holy shit.
That's what I love, because it shows that he's been established for quite a while now.
I love that.
Also, it makes you go like, I feel like he would have killed this family way, way sooner.
I have a feeling like maybe each box wasn't like individual, like inside of it isn't 100 kills. One box is one evidence. So there's like hundreds of kills.
I feel like one box would be like, all right, hundreds of kills from that warehouse shootout. And then like the other one would be like, well, that's from that apartment complex shootout. So that's another file.
I'm pretty sure every death has to get its own file and evidence and stuff like that. But it's still so
shootout at the
impactful.
harbor, like wherever else, shootouts happen, there's a file on it.
That's always a file. Just how many? It literally has our body count, the Punisher body count.
Yeah,
you open it up, it plays the gunshots. Pow, pow, pow. Here's how many deaths in this file. It's been awesome. But no, I like those characters. We kind of follow them around. The characters I don't think we should enjoy, but I do, are the parkour hooligans in this movie,
which dates this movie so badly.
Oh God, everyone loved parkour in the late 2000s.
God,
man.
did everyone really want parkour to be a thing?
Oh, it was everywhere, man. I think
also,
they still do it, but
they might. But this is definitely a product of that's what them hip cool kids are into. We'll have them do the back flips with the front flips and the side flips over counters.
I felt like the one henchman dude, Pitsy or whatever, because he's like, well, where are you guys going? Would you care if we go out the roof? Yeah, it's like,
yeah.
What?
Why?
Why would you want to go out the roof?
And it leads to such a spectacular kill.
2 spectacular kills.
Oh, all 3 are actually really great.
The first one's cool because it's kind of like out of nowhere. The dude dies.
You have no idea that a man in the middle of doing a parkour move is going to get hit by a rocket and
launcher.
explode.
Rocket launcher. But he gets the last dude, the leader, and he gives him all the information, and the camera cuts like he's going to, like, oh, wow, maybe Punisher didn't kill him. And Soap and Budiansky come driving down the exact alley, and this body falls onto spiked fence. And that
Still alive.
And the Punisher jumps down and kicks the dude's head,
God.
lands through his neck, down on his head, onto the ground. Superhero landing. He's going to do the superhero landing.
And the neck as it breaks and how extended it is.
Yeah, it just stretches. It's like Stretch Armstrong.
Oh, it's so brutal.
And those 2 guys are just sitting in the car like, the hell did we just watch? And then they're like, oh shit, it's the Punisher standing in front of us. God, so good.
This movie does not shy away from the violence at all, as we've talked about. When Jigsaw's getting made, it's gross. Having all these recycled glass bottles and the blood's trail.
That is such a cool shot.
Yeah.
Like you're watching the processing thing, this giant crusher with the claw in the middle, and you're watching Dominic West go around in circles, and then they show his face when the cops show up, and they go, "Hey, we got one over here. It looks like Billy the Beaut. He ain't pretty no more." And they show his face just
Ugh,
sliced and
mangled.
diced and gore. So good. And okay, fine, whatever. They kind of play up the whole Joker thing from the Batman
Oh,
movie,
of course they do, but
but
like,
you got to, and it works so good because the
yeah, they
guy's
make it
like,
to where it's like he's now the crazy psychopath. It was like his whole demeanor, even though we only get to see him as normal Billy for a little bit, it's completely unhinged and changed
oh,
now.
he's lost it. But I do love. You just like watching him, the doctor unwrap his face, and he's like, some surgical plastic here, some titanium plates here, and a little bit of horsehide, and everyone's like, "What'd he say? Horsehide?"
Like, I don't think this is a really good doctor.
I think you could have found a way better
Oh
doctor.
yeah. Now, what are your thoughts on Jigsaw's looks?
I love it.
I do too. I like it. It reminds me of Dick Tracy.
It's very stylized like Dick Tracy. And honestly, in the comics, it's basically what Jigsaw looks like in the comics.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what really it was the cherry on top was you get that quick reveal with the doctor. And then he's looking out the window. He sees, okay, fine, it's a billboard with puzzle pieces about New York. Fine, you can make that where he got it. I don't give a shit.
Now it's once again that'd be dumb in any other movie.
But in this
the
one,
tongue is so firmly in the cheek with this movie
exactly,
that it works.
But when the two henchmen come back in and they're like, "Hey, boss, you okay? The doctor's dead." He goes, "I'm doing all right. You're going to call me Jigsaw," and does all this. It's when he puts his fur coat on and puts that fedora back on his head when I went, "That's it right there. That still looks badass." And I love that he is now like, "I am this. And I'm going to still be Billy the Beaut, but I'm Jigsaw right now."
His outfits are
love it.
definitely questionable, like towards the end where he's wearing
towards
like
the
the
end, he's wearing
bedazzled
the
military top.
That's when it got a little silly, but the fur coat, because it's what they set up, that's kind of what he looks like at the beginning. You know, the really sharply dressed. He's very narcissistic, he's always fixing his hair. But man, when he pops that hat on, it just has that like, I'm ready to go out into the world look to him. I'm like, yes, I like this villain arc right here. I love what they're doing with this guy. And it's fun, man. And to me, I would have rather just seen Jigsaw lose his shit and still not had Looney Bin Jim in this movie. I'm not going to.
You could have definitely gotten away with that.
You totally could. You could have had an endless, a wave after wave of henchmen, which we get, and Jigsaw pulling the strings on everything. And I would have been like, good. I don't need the stupid candor from Looney Bin Jim. I'm going to take a break, though. I'm done talking about him. Let's pop a commercial here real fast, and then we'll jump right back into some Punisher.
Sounds like a plan to me.
There you go.
G.I. Joe will return after these messages.
Oh, hi. Hello. It's Dom, and along with my co-host Amy, we are the hosts of Horror House, True Crime, and The Macabre. If, like us, you have a morbid curiosity with true crime, the paranormal, cults, and more, then our show may just satisfy your curiosities. We release episodes on Fridays and bonus episodes every other Wednesday. You can listen to us wherever you find your podcasts, and you can also find us on Instagram at horrorhouse_pod. So, all that's left to say is, until next time, my friends, stay spooky.
Now, back to G.I. Joe.
So let's jump back into some Ray Stevenson here. Let's jump back into some portrayal of the Punisher for this movie.
Cold, dead stairs.
His apartment in the subway, where he basically hides out. It felt damp.
I love it.
It felt dirty. It worked. It's like zero comfort. Like, why would it gives you this imagination that the Punisher doesn't take a day off whatsoever.
He's not there at all, like, to sleep or anything like that. That's just a place to hold
eats
guns.
MREs. He Burt Gummers it, just meals ready to eat. and the way that he has to bring Julie and her daughter there because he's protecting them. So the woman and daughter, if you haven't seen this movie, her husband's the one Frank kills because he's an undercover agent, and so he's trying to do right. And that guy was, I didn't really understand. Was the husband stealing money from Billy the Beaut?
I think that's what they were
Or
trying
was
to
he
imply.
turning it in as evidence?
I think he was stealing money from the mob to support his own family. I think.
Okay. They never are clear because Billy immediately, once they find out because of the death, they announce out that this guy was an undercover agent. So they immediately go after the family thinking that's where all the money is, which they don't. She doesn't have any of the money. And Frank has to get involved. So he protects him. But when he takes them down into there, man, you can just tell it was like them being in a third world country. Like,
they would definitely be anywhere else.
Yeah, exactly.
Can we maybe not stay here?
Can we stay at a hotel? You tried to give us a duffel bag full of money. Can we use some of that for the Hilton or something like that? Even a Best Western, I'll take it at this moment. It's not that big of a deal. They have better running water, and I don't have to eat the MRE with Chuckles because apparently that's the best one to get. I don't know what Chuckles
That's
are.
what it is. I have no idea.
I don't either. I've heard that most of them taste like toilet paper. That is the toilet paper. Oh, that would explain it. That's another Tremors 2 joke, Nate. I didn't think you would miss.
No, I see. I quit paying attention because I got heartburn in the middle of that, and I went. I have to pay attention to this now. I can't focus on anything else.
I'm about to die.
Yeah,
Charlie's just talking about toilet paper and
words,
MREs,
and I'm gonna nod while I focus on my heart. Going, why'd you eat pizza before podcasting? You have a rule that you
We've
don't
had
eat
this
pizza.
talk.
I know, and yet I do it to myself.
Why? That's your fault. I don't
know.
feel bad
but
anymore.
Anyone out there that wants to do a podcast, don't eat pizza before you do it. It's a terrible idea.
No, never do. Nothing super greasy or heavy before you have to talk for an hour and a half.
So our very first episode, I ate like 8 White Castles beforehand, and I somehow made the whole episode without having to poo.
Yeah, that was like on 2.5 hours too, because that was Near
that
Dark.
was-
And if you haven't checked out that episode of Near Dark, feel free to go back.
Why do we keep name dropping it?
Because it's funny at this point, and I don't care.
Because some poor person's like, oh, okay, I guess I'm gonna check out Near Dark, and then that's 2.5 hours I can never give that person back. All right, you know what? 2 hours and 15 minutes. There's probably at least 15 minutes of gold in that episode.
At least.
Maybe. What were you saying before my heartburn?
I don't know. Something about MREs and Tremors too.
I don't know. Yeah, definitely. Ray Stevenson, really cool. Murders a lot of people. And then we get a really badass warehouse apartment complex shootout. I don't know what
I think it's a hotel because apparently some guy used to bring a bunch of hookers there. That's all the preamble I got in this movie about this giant ass building. So I don't know if that was a dig at Trump. That may have been a dig at Trump.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I'm
just throwing that out there.
It's still
right.
possible.
Very possible. It's a giant building. But I love this because the Jigsaw has recruited all these different gangs. So we run the gambit of, every ethnicity, every stereotypical gang from a movie is in this building right now.
Except they found a way.
Except for one.
The Yakuza?
No. Whatever reason, Budiansky gets to the Russian ones, and they were never, I guess it's because Christo, it was because of Jigsaw that Christo's in jail. And so that's why the Russians weren't initially in the group until Budiansky sent them over there. And they're like, we're here for the Punisher party. So they get to go in. So they cause like the big distraction, starting a big fight at the beginning.
It's a great way to set up a finale of how can we have the Punisher kill a lot more people?
We need to up this body count tremendously.
Yeah, so we'll have him go through. And it's not like it's that long of a scene, but that's
really
when we really get to see him. And it's also a product of its time, too, because it's still awesome. I still really enjoy it.
Yeah.
But then when you look at like what John Wick 4 did with the over-the-top shot, and
you can't. Yeah,
you can't compare the
that.
two.
You can't compare
It's not
that.
fair, but it's
No.
so interesting to see like how we used to do things,
This
you know?
well, this is the because I mean, this is before the raid.
Yeah.
This is before Judge Dredd. This is, the kind of the start of let's start at the bottom, work our way up through all these bosses. And they get creative with all the kills. There's guys behind doors. There's guys hiding. The guy that gets blown up in the elevator. It's still freaking hilarious to watch
it's
that
great
scene.
seeing that dude's head just explode.
Yeah,
I mean, he puts a grenade in a bucket and kicks it, and then you see a guy go through a wall.
so good. So
There's
good.
a scene where like he's kind of pinned down, and his solution is to run and gun, and he's just spraying paint.
Well,
and it's
he's
badass.
got bulletproof vest on. That they set it up so well because they're like, okay, what's the plan? I'm going in there. That's the plan. It's worked so far. It's it's just like, yeah, that's all the planning Punisher
and it's
needs.
badass on how it works because he just jumps from one building into the building.
Yep, from the top of one into that one because he's not going through the front door. We already figured that out. And it's just like this is just horde mode, and he's just fighting gang members. Then we get this. Kind of want to say it's a stupid fight, but you're right. Ray Stevenson beats the shit out of Looney Bin Jim.
It starts out really ridiculous and dumb, but
Yeah.
my God, is it worth the payoff of like finally he's getting destroyed, and it's
He's
just
like-
Ray Stevenson being a beast of a man destroying Looney Bin Jim.
It's so close to the Hulk when he grabs hold of Loki and Avengers. It was almost to that level.
Yeah.
Once Ray is able, it's one of those like when you're a little dude and you're fast, that's your thing. You got to keep, real quick. Don't let him grab a hold of you because once Punisher grabs a hold of you, you're done. That you're not getting out
and
of
it's
that.
the dedication to like, there's not much CGI in this movie.
Not a lot. It's more
a lot of
into
it is practical and
Yeah.
just like stunt work, and there's a lot of just brutal stunt work happening.
He's not
like,
doing
these fights.
superhero. The most superhero move is when he jumps off the building onto the dude's head.
Yeah.
That's kind of the most superhero-y thing he does in this as far as like physics. Everything is like when he falls down. When he goes through a wall, he goes through a wall. And you feel the weight of Ray Stevenson as he's doing this. Even as much as I want to bitch about him, when Looney Bin Jim does the whole like acrobatic shit, I really think that's that dude like doing all that. It looks
definitely.
like Ray Park doing the Darth Maul shit everywhere. That's exactly how it looks. It never comes off as fake or superimposed. And then even like, Jigsaw, it's all like practical makeup he's wearing. Like nowadays it would be digital.
They
over
even
his
do
face.
like an actual, stuntman on fire after Jigsaw gets
Yes.
stabbed and then pushed. Not
That's
like a full stab, but like I'm gonna take his body and slowly move him further into the spike.
Skewers him.
Yeah, he shish kebabs him.
Yeah, he shish kebabs him, which I love. It's like all the chaos happens. He shoots Micro, and then it's on. Now, Billy puts up a decent fight. Like he doesn't go out like as a total weakling, but he is overpowered by Castle. And once Castle gets like when he breaks him over the edge of that pit on that concrete, when he like power bombs him down.
Oh yeah, it's so
Oh
awesome.
my God, like I wouldn't be getting back up.
No,
I'm done. I quit. I'm out. Take
that
me
really
to jail.
hurt. You really
Yep.
meant this.
I'm out. I quit. But yeah, and then Billy grabs that spike and he's like beating the shit out of Castle till Castle grabs a hold of it and just through the side of his rib cage pulls him the rest of the way and pushes it through and then lifts him up by the spear through the guy's rib cage.
And then throws him in fire.
Throws him on the
And
fire,
then
man.
You get the CGI overlay of the fire like burning up Jigsaw's face. But
it
it's
honestly
fun.
still looked pretty cool. I mean, for the day, it still kind of worked. I was like, I like the effect of it because you start seeing the skin melt and everything. So it's like, oh yeah, this dude's done. Yeah, and Punisher wins the day, but we still get a badass. We still get a badass Punisher moment, and I love these in these movies where Soap is walking away talking to Frank, and Frank does the Batman. he does.
He just disappears.
And Soap gets mugged. And he's like, Frank. Frank. And behind in the back, this is the total like Garth Ennis comic book moment. There's a cross, one of those neon looking crosses in the background, and it says Jesus across the one way, and it says saves down the other way. And Frank walks underneath it, and the Jesus part blanks out, and it just says saves. And it's the Punisher saves.
Oh, so badass. The neon lights, the way that the shadow is of him.
You don't see any features of the Punisher except a shadowed silhouette.
Yeah.
And that glow behind him, and the camera fades out from that. And I want that as a poster. Like, I would take just that silhouette, saves down the middle, Punisher. And good God, it's the best way to end this movie.
And it's such a shame because Lexi, I think, is a fantastic director from the only one movie I've seen of her.
Right.
But she's only done like TV shows since, because of this movie being such a massive flop. The fact that the studio dumped her on this.
Somebody at 87 North needs to get in touch with her and let her get involved with these awesome action movies.
I would love for a comeback story.
I would love it. I would love it to death. I mean, just make a Punisher movie without it calling it the Punisher.
Yeah, basically, I feel like you can get away with that.
Hey, I got a buddy that wrote a kick-ass book. It's Punisher-esque, but it's called Gloom. So big shout out to our buddy Steven Simones. He's got an awesome book called Gloom. Maybe I'll share a link to that.
All right. Yeah, you should probably do that.
If you enjoy Punisher, but it's not Punisher, it's really cool. So maybe we can get Lexi to do his movie. And so that'll be awesome. All right, man. Well, let's do the things on this bonus episode. We still got to go through the stuff.
Oh, we do.
Yeah.
Leave anything for us?
Just bodies.
Body count. Body count. Body count. Body count.
This one doesn't disappoint, man. I mean, there is a ton.
I'm curious to see what it is.
114.
Oh, that feels good.
And I think what I read was it's over 80 of them are by the Punisher.
Even better.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. Oh, you're right, Nate. I just love a good, just violence for violence sake kind of movie.
That's it, man. It's been a hot minute.
It kind of has. It kind of has. So, well, out of 114, let's pick our favorite.
You ever killed anyone?
Yeah, but they were all bad.
Nate, pick your favorite Punisher.
God, this is really hard because so many we have already gloated
I
about.
know.
You know, I think I'm gonna give it to the punch in the face, just because I'll never forget the first time seeing that and just screaming, "Oh my God, the Punisher just punched a hole in a man's face!" Like,
yeah,
it's so ridiculous. It's over the top. It's a blast. The effect still holds up. I don't care. And like the fact that it's a 1-2 punch combo of you get that kill and then you get the shotgun blast to the face. Like,
I was about to give you the 1-2 because that's mine is the shotgun blast to the face.
A lesser movie would have only had one of those kills and they would have been at the very end. Not this movie. They're a minute apart.
They're a minute apart. I was going to do that. I was giving you the 1-2 because I was like, man, you pick that one. I'm picking one after. And he's holding a little girl in his hand. Budiansky's trying to call this guy in and arrest him. And the Punisher says nothing. Raises a shotgun up point blank to this dude's face, and his face disappears. And the Punisher looks at Budiansky and walks out the door with the little girl. Love it.
Only Ray Stevenson could have pulled that off.
100%.
Only
100%. This seems kind of silly to do, but we need to rate this bad boy. Hit me, Nate.
It's a 9 for me. I really love this movie. Like, it's a solid all-around action movie. I don't feel like there's moments of it that it feels like a 2008 action movie, aside from like parkour.
Yeah,
that hotel shootout scene.
You might as well flipped out a Nokia phone or some shit.
Yeah,
you
definitely.
Go, oh, parkour. This is definitely like 2000s.
Oh, I'm gonna take a picture of this with my T-Mobile sidekick. You know. But for the most part, no, I really enjoy this. I still think Ray Stevenson is the second best Punisher, and it's only because he didn't get a TV show to flesh out, so that's not fair. But
that's
as
really
far
not
as
fair.
Movies go, he's probably my favorite.
I'll give you that.
Yeah, it's just all around. This is a fun action movie. It's an hour and 40 minutes, but it doesn't feel like it. It flies. Like this movie
Yeah,
is goes,
so
goes,
fast.
goes. It doesn't waste a second. Um, I don't know. Just something about it is very charming. And it's also one of those things like we're never going to get a Marvel movie like this ever again. Yeah, we've got, Logan, but Logan's a very serious,
Logan
dark
is a
drama.
depressing movie. Like
Yeah,
I
like
enjoy it, but damn, is it
it's a Western.
depressing?
It's a sad Western.
It's Shane. Like we have
Yeah.
talked about. It's those type of even Yojimbo and stuff like that. It's
The first two Deadpool movies are, you have Ryan Reynolds comic relief.
they're Deadpool. They're
Yeah,
exactly what I want. I don't want
It's-
Punisher level like violence I want the violence in Deadpool, but I don't want the storyline being that somber.
Yeah. The
I
only
need
other thing
Ryan.
that comes like close to this is what 2001 when the first Blade movie came out.
Closest we
You know,
ever get.
like in types of like this type of tone and this type of action.
And only the first one, because this 2 and 3 really start kind of going a little more, I don't want to say silly. Okay,
3
third one
goes
gets a
off the
little
rails
silly.
silly.
That's Ryan Reynolds. Although
Yeah.
I enjoy 3, don't get me wrong. I have fun with. And 2, it's Ron Perlman. I love that one, but
I mean,
there's
still
something
Toro.
about the grit of number 1. And plus it was the first, it was
Yeah.
like it's R-rated Marvel. This is insane. They got a movie and Wesley Snipes. So, yeah, I mean, the likes of movies like Warzone we're only going to get from the people that do the John Wicks and the Nobodies and Sisu and
I think
all
you're
these
absolutely
movies that are
right
out,
where
yeah.
it's you know what, make Punisher movies, but just it's not the Punisher.
Right.
know?
That's totally the way we got to look at it. So,
So what
we're
about
not
you?
going to do. Oh, that's right. Me. I almost.
Yeah, you gotta give your you
I
gotta give a
almost pulled a
review.
Pete.
Yeah, you can't do
Um,
that.
I think it's pretty obvious that I think there is no wrong answer as long as it's anywhere between 9 and a 10. So that means I'm going to give it a 9.5. The action sticks with you. I watched it in the theater. It's an amazing movie. I got the 4K. It's still just as amazing. You know, there's nothing I would cut as much as I want to harp on, Looney Bin Jim. He's in there. He does add something to it, but this isn't a movie where I'm like, God, it really drug at this point, or it really, kind of lost its way at this juncture in the movie.
No,
It's on
it really
point the
doesn't.
whole way.
Yeah.
So
And,
yeah,
and like if anything, what was eye opening of like us deciding like, hey, we want to do a tribute to Ray Stevenson, is realizing he doesn't play this type of character often. Like
no,
it's not like he's like this huge action movie star. It's just the right guy at the right moment for the right movie.
you're right. I mean, and I've always been a fan of Ray Stevenson, even before I knew who he was directly, because Nate and I were talking about this beforehand. I remember him from the King Arthur movie, the one with Clive Owen and Keira Knightley. Is that who
Yeah,
it is?
yeah, she's in that too.
I get her and
It's like,
Natalie
I
mixed up.
don't
That's fine.
remember him in
Yeah.
that, but like I remember watching Outposts and thinking that dude was cool. Kill the
And
Irishman.
To
like,
me, he's also one of the standout characters in The Other Guys with Will Ferrell and
Yeah.
Mark Wahlberg. It was a nothing character really, but because Ray Stevenson is so like in your face when he's on screen, you can't help but notice that guy. And I love his character in The Other Guys. And I kind of feel like he's the perfect casting of Volstagg, but it was all of those characters from the Thor movies are wasted. Like
they were
there should have
completely
been
wasted.
a whole nother movie for those,
Yeah.
his friends. I love him as Volstagg. I just feel like he was wasted, and then they die in the most ridiculous way, and I'm still pissed off about
That
that.
was so annoying. But
And
then,
I
like,
love Ragnarok, but I don't like how they
Oh,
just off
yeah,
all the
how they
all the
dispatch 'em.
dudes. Yeah.
because that felt more of just like we need to get rid of these characters.
Right? Yeah. It's like, why not just
Yeah.
put them on another battle somewhere else? We
Yeah,
do that
they're on
all the
another
time
planet.
in Marvel movies.
No.
Yeah. Destroy the bridge. Now they can't get back.
Yeah.
Simple. Why was that so hard? You didn't have to kill them. Stupid.
He was an awesome Firefly in like the good G.I. Joe movie.
Making more things go boom by 9 a.m. than most people do all day. Pretty sure that's
And-
how it goes, but it's close enough.
I know he's going to be in the Ahsoka show, which I'm pretty excited for. Being Gar
Yeah.
Saxon again, so like, yeah.
And yeah, and I mean it's this one was kind of shocking. as of us recording right now, there's still nobody's released what happened. We just know that he's passed. So we'll find out when they want us to find out. So
Yep.
hopefully he's in peace now for whatever reason. So, all right, man. Well, I feel like it sucks under the circumstances to cover this movie, but I'm glad we covered it.
Same, like
And
it's definitely an unfortunate way to kick our ass into gear to finally cover it, and
it's one of the
this
weird
is-
things where I want to be more hype covering this movie
Yeah.
because I love it, not because, damn it, man, we lost Ray, and I feel I want to just talk about him for a minute.
And
You know,
it's
this is
only
more of
the-
an in memoriam type episode.
definitely it's only the second comic book movie we've covered, but it feels like the right one. You know,
We covered enough. Did we? What was it?
Batman Returns.
Oh, that's right. We did do Batman. I forgot
Yep.
about that. You're right.
So
I guess Darkman became a comic afterwards. That's right.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay.
I still have
Okay.
intentions to cover Logan at some point.
I have no problem covering Logan.
Yeah, at some point that
There
one will
are
happen.
some comic book movies that are action movies
that
This
I
is one
feel
of them.
deserve to be talked
No,
about.
Definitely. I totally agree with that. Well, everybody, thanks for checking out this special bonus episode of Punisher Warzone, where we can reminisce a little bit about Ray Stevenson. You know, he will be missed in seeing him on screen, but I can always pop his movies back in. And if nothing else, he will always leave an impact for the world. So his memory will live on. So if you want to follow us, just go ahead and check us out over at Give Me Back My Action Movies, the podcast Facebook group. Give Me Back My Horror Movies podcast Facebook group. Both of us are on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube. I think this is coming out still before the next Tubi files. So just be on the lookout for our posts for Pete's pick that's coming up. And I don't even remember what the name of it was. As
Blood
of right now.
Tide.
Blood Tide. That's it. Blood Tide, where we cover Pete's pick to find out whether it's trash or treasure.
We'll
so please
find
go check
out.
us out over there. We will. We will definitely find out. I'm going to feel bad if his ends up being the first trash.
Yeah, I would feel bad about that because we've had two bangers so far.
We have, even though Pete
Yeah.
will say he didn't like Cyborg Cop, but it's still 2 to 1.
Banger.
It's treasure. So, all right, man. Anything else?
No, what's a good word, Charlie?
Let me put you out of my misery.